Thank you so much, colleagues, for this opportunity accorded to me for an interview. Just a short maybe description about myself or introduction. I'm Lieutenant General Nyone. I'm from Zambia. I'm the Force Commander for MINUSCA. I come with almost 30 years of experience in the Zambia Defense Force. I was appointed in April as MINUSCA Force Commander. Coming to your question, right now I can say that the security situation across the country is relatively peaceful but unpredictable. What has happened now is that most of the armed groups are fragmented. They don't pose a serious threat, either territorial or otherwise, to the government of this country. So they are operating in silos, starting sweeping from Sector West through Sector Center up to Sector East. So this is what we are seeing. In terms of their modus operandi now, they've adopted issues of, we are seeing more activities of criminal in nature, hinging on exactions, extortions, robberies, on humanitarian, agencies, equally on the local population, and so on. So this is the dynamics currently obtaining. Coming to Bangui, as you know, in the military we say that where the seat of government is always a center of gravity. And this is a center of gravity for the Central African Republic. Right now, here is relatively calm. If you check from where this country is coming from. Why? It's because of the much work which MINUSCA is doing. And I can underscore the many works which the Rwandese contingents are doing here. Fantastic, professional contingent. And we've managed, to subdue some of these cases. What we are seeing now is just sporadic, cases of, criminal in nature, which, are under the umbrella of the police. So this is what is happening right now. Issues in terms of projection, the government has come up with a calendar in terms of the local elections, which are coming into effect in October next year, 2024. We are getting out of the rainy season. So our projection is that we are likely to see an uptick in terms of these criminal activities. So if there's an uptick, it means it endangers protection of civilians, which is priority number one in our mandate. So what should we do? So we are coming up with contingency plans of number one on how we are going to ensure that we diminish that threat. Secondly, on how we are going to support the electoral process, because that is part of our mandate. So those are what we are doing right now, but I can safely say that we have managed to control almost 75% in terms of criminal activities. Now we have a challenge. In most of these hard-to-reach areas, in field, what we are doing is, yes, MINUSCA, we are managing to reach those areas. We have demonstrated in the recent past in Samwanja and in Mboki, where we've done joint operations with the FACA, the local military. The issue now comes in the extension of state authority, because there's a relative absence of state authority in many areas. They are mostly concentrated here in Bangui and in most of these prefecture headquarters, Bosangoa, Bua, Bria, Bangaso, and so on. But when you go deep, there's a relative absence. So this is what we are doing. It's part of our mandate. Once we conduct a joint operation, we are on the ground. Now other institutions of government can start coming in slowly to take over, government responsibilities in those areas. I can give an example. The president was in Saudi Arabia not long ago, and we followed most of his interactions in Riyadh, and he was calling upon the business community to come and do a lot of investment because of the conducive environment which is being created by MINUSCA and other bilateral forces. Now, coming to your second question, how we are collaborating with the Rwandese contingents. Rwandese contingents are under my command. Those that are under the umbrella of the UN, those are under my command. They are doing a fantastic job. I will not say about those bilateral issues, no, but I'll talk about Rwanda contingent number 1, number 2. We have the Rwandese contingent that is securing our MSR1 from the border with Cameroon up to here. MSR1 is the lifeblood of this country. You close MSR1, this country is gone, because there will be no resupply coming in, you know, all the way from the port of Douala in Cameroon. They are doing a fantastic job. I've visited them several times. Even not long ago, I was in Biloko, Bosempele. I interacted with them. They are doing a fantastic job. Contingent commander for under JTFB, which is Joint Task Force Bangi, is here. I interact with him on daily basis. You know, they play a critical role to ensure that, you know, Bangi is safe, either from, internal incidences, or those external coming from outside, trying to, assault Bangi. They play a critical role, and I'm proud. I'm proud of, what they are doing as Force Commander. If you are not doing a fantastic job, I would have told you. But I can tell you that they are doing a very, very good job. They are one of the very dependable contingents that I have under my command. I've been in the military for 30 years. They are very brave. And that is one attribute we require from a soldier. Under very difficult, circumstances. Here we operate under very, very difficult circumstances. But I've found the Rwandese contingents to be one of the bravest. They're very brave. We had an incident here, I think sometime in either July or August, in Samwanja. In Samwanja is an area located closer to the border with the Sudan. We had a lot of insecurity in that area, so a decision was made under the leadership of the SRSG, Madam Valentine Rugwabiza, to intervene. One, because of to ensure protection of civilians, and as Force Commander, we moved the Rwandese battle group from Ubria, and in no time they intervened because we had huge influx of armed elements. They had taken over completely the town. But against all odds, Rwandese, moved in. It was against the backdrop of the attack which the armed groups, launched on the gendarmerie, the local gendarmerie, who were deployed there. And we had a number of fatalities. So we had to activate the Rwandese battle group, deployed in no time. The situation was brought under control. They managed to, expel all the armed elements from that town. And the local population started coming back. They are still on ground as we speak because the situation is not yet stable. One of our patrols at one point was even ambushed. I know we lost one of our gallant peacekeepers from Rwanda, and they had to react with that posture against that particular ambush. It's not an easy thing. You are on a patrol, you are ambushed. They were able to pursue those armed elements that conducted that ambush, and the story about it. So those are the attributes I can give on Rwandese. Very dependable. In so many cases where we've engaged them, they've succeeded. So I think they are a force to reckon with. So the contribution by Rwandese in the Central African Republic, I think, is enormous. Right now, we have how many contingents? I can speak of the one under JTFB, one manning MSR1. Then we have the battle group, and also the one which is on bilateral. I will not talk about it because it's under, other frameworks. I'll talk about this. The contribution is enormous. Rwandese are in charge of protection of the presidents. I'm sure you know. Okay? So that is a trust which is coming from the top leadership to have this contingent to protect the presidency. Not only the presidents, and also certain ministers and also certain judges under JTFB. Okay? Then coming, I've just given an example of Samwanja where they stabilized. And also MSR1. We had a problem in MSR1. UN convoy bringing a resupply here from Douala, they were blocked by armed elements for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. Yes, there were other forces that were in charge of MSR. But we opted to settle on Rwanda contingent. Immediately it moved in. Those armed elements, were expelled, and they even opened up the MSR up to today. Up to today, no armed element causes any problems along that MSR because of the Rwandese. So that is one contribution in terms of stabilization. Okay, Samwanja is another example of stabilization. Bangi here, contingent commander is there. They conduct patrols day and night. It's because of them, as part of the contribution, Bangi is safe. Under this mission or under any other UN mission, we encourage most of contingents, to conduct, some of these programs. Quick impact projects are a different affair because under the umbrella of the SRSG, there's a pillar in charge of that. But at lower levels, we encourage, where more on humanitarian affairs. Rwandese contingents have been on those particular projects. A number of them, which I cannot itemize. I think they are doing a very good job. They are not the only ones. There are so many also who have seen in terms of these humanitarian projects. A lot of them are doing, and we are encouraging them to do so. But one particular issue that also stands out is the issue of leaving a UN legacy. Leaving the UN legacy in terms of ensuring that we do not disturb, the environment. And that is one issue which Rwanda has been doing in terms of planting of trees in their camps, ensuring that they do not disturb with foliage and so on. I think it's one of the contingents. I have about 3 that are doing so well, and one of them is Rwanda. They are doing a fantastic job to ensure that we leave a legacy as UN. We do not leave certain footprints that can come to haunt the UN in the future. And this is a policy from the headquarters to ensure that we do not disturb the environment. We leave it as we found it. And I'm happy to report that one of the contingents has taken up that task very well. When you visit their camp, you see they are planting new trees, they are doing this, they do not litter, a lot of issues within the framework of ensuring that we do not disturb the environment. And that is a component which the bilateral may not have. I think that is what gives this leverage, and it gives it an impact. Okay? Because I don't want to say much about bilateral. I don't know. But on the UN part, that is how it comes. It comes with, it's a complete holistic package. I think that is what gives this a leverage because we are in all these humanitarian efforts, issues of electoral, DDR, civil affairs, political, name it, and the force, of course. A UN peacekeeping mission does not come to start hunting for certain groups. Ours is to ensure that once there's peace, we see how we can maintain that peace. It's not the peacekeeping force or the mission to, because that is against, it's a violation of the mandate for us to start hunting for this one, to start hunting for this. No. That is a violation of our mandate. The government, it has, it makes decisions who they want to work with and those that they do not. So it's a government decision. If they go bilateral to ensure that they do, we can't intervene. But ours, it will be violation of the mandate. The mandate is very clear, it's very robust. It gives us leverage, to protect ourselves and the civilians. If the civilians are being massacred, then we, as a UN force, we move in and interpose our troops and repel that particular armed group. The mandate is very clear. It gives us that leverage. Also, protecting the UN personnel and the property. We do that. But what it does not allow is hunting. No, unless those that have attacked civilians, then the mandate is clear. We can hunt for them, but not.